Hey guys, Henry here, and today we're going to be breaking down the 2004 film The Machinist, directed by Brad Anderson. The film is a character study of Trevor Reznik, played by Christian Bale, a machinist who suffers from insomnia and the odd hallucination. And it's definitely a film that's most well known for Christian Bale's physical transformation. Because in this film, his physique is absolutely haunting. He is so frail, he's so thin, it made me feel ill just watching him walk around in this movie. Like, just doing simple things honestly seemed like such a struggle for him. Anyway, before we jump into the video, as always with these explainer videos, there will be spoilers ahead, so you have been warned. So the film starts at the end where we see Trevor Reznik. He's all beat up and he's bloody, and he drives to the ocean to try and discard of a dead body. The body's all wrapped up in a carpet, and his frail stature is trying to carry this dead body and toss it into the water. As he tosses it, someone approaches from behind with a torch, but we don't get to see who it is. And that's the mystery that's left for the end of the film. We then go back to the beginning. Trevor Reznik, he's an absolute shell of a man. He's working as a machinist in an industrial factory by day and slinking around his apartment alone at night. He washes his hands constantly with bleach, and he's not slept in an entire year. At the factory, his co-workers tend to keep their distance from him. I mean, just look at him. He's absolutely fried. Something is definitely wrong with him, and his eyes just have nothing behind them. You look at him and you wouldn't even know anyone was in there. His interactions with his co-workers show that they don't hold anything in particular against him, and honestly, they probably pity him more than anything. They even invite him to a poker night. They have some bants, but also mention that he used to be alright, sort of suggesting that he's changed from the person he used to be. But their apprehensiveness comes from the fact that they work with dangerous machinery, and this guy, he looks like he's about to drop dead at any second, so understandably, no one really wants to get too involved with him. Well, that is until one guy, Miller, for some reason gives him a chance and asks Trevor to help him out with the machine he's working at. While assisting, Trevor gets distracted by an unfamiliar coworker who had just recently introduced himself to Trevor, named Ivan, who runs his finger across his neck as Trevor looks at him, causing him to stumble and activate the machine while Miller's arm is stuck in it. Miller's arm is cut off, and when Trevor is questioned about the incident, he blames Ivan for distracting him. But it turns out that no one knows any Ivan, and there are no records of any Ivan. And this is enough to convince the workers that something is seriously wrong with Trevor, and they suspect he might have actually gone crazy. Meanwhile, Trevor feels like everyone's ganging up on him and are part of some conspiracy by hiding the existence of Ivan from him. One day, Trevor sees Ivan driving away from the factory, and he chases him down to a bar where they share a drink. Trevor tells Ivan that there's no record of him working at the factory, but Ivan just shrugs this off and says that the guys are just mucking around with Trevor and giving him a hard time. Ivan then pops off to the bathroom, and Trevor decides to go through his wallet and finds a photo of Ivan and a co-worker, Reynolds, fishing, the proof that he needs to validate Ivan's existence. Back at his apartment, he also starts to find a mysterious series of post-it notes appearing on his refrigerator, depicting a game of hangman. And this just adds to his overall paranoia that now someone is even coming into his apartment and messing with him. And when he's not at work and not getting guys' arms chopped off or seeing weird things happening around his apartment, Trevor seeks the comfort and the company of a prostitute named Stevie, who, although she gladly accepts his money, seems to have a genuine affection towards Trevor. He also frequently visits an airport diner to see and chat with a waitress named Maria, who he gets along fairly well with. Out of everyone, he seems to be the most normal around Maria. And one night, while chatting with her about their plans for Mother's Day, Maria invites Trevor to come along with her and her son Nicholas to an amusement park. While at the amusement park, Trevor goes to take a photo of Maria and Nicholas together in front of the carousel, but he hesitates. He eventually takes the photo, but something about that photo gives him pause. Maria then gets a call from her ex, and Trevor is left to mind Nicholas. Nicholas asks Trevor if they can go on a ride called Route 666, and Trevor obliges, and the two of them go on the ride. Early on in the ride, it seems like a pretty classic horror ride, but then things get a little more serious. They go past a man holding up a cut-off hand, clearly alluding to Miller's accident, a woman crying at a grave, a man recently hanged swaying side to side. They then go past the Shady Lady, where some very R-rated stuff is going down, and then the car that they're riding in goes on to hit a child, and then past a crashed, burning car with a dead body besides it. Super dark stuff. The car then gets to a fork in the road. On the right hand side is the road to salvation, and on the left is the highway to hell. Trevor, very disturbed by the ride so far, instructs Nicholas to go right. In fact, he's begging Nicholas to go right, and Nicholas tries, but the car still veers left down the highway to hell. And as they go down the tunnel, lights continue to flash, and then Trevor realizes that Nicholas has gone into some kind of seizure. He rushes him out and yells for help, and Maria runs over, telling Trevor that Nicholas is epileptic and that it is her fault for not telling him, and to not panic as it will pass. They take Nicholas home, and Maria invites Trevor inside for a drink. While topping up their wine, he notices something pinned to Maria's fridge, a Mother's Day card with a stick figure of Nicholas and Maria drawn on it. This drawing and the word mother completely triggers Trevor, as it reminds him of the mysterious hangman sticky note in his apartment, and Trevor dives deeper into a state of paranoia. Back at work, Miller comes in to get his compensation settlement, and Trevor profusely apologizes to him. But Miller doesn't seem to have any hard feelings towards Trevor. Honestly, it seems like Miller is taking losing his arm better than Trevor is. Trevor then goes back to work and gets his arm stuck in a machine. He narrowly escapes losing his hand by jamming something into the machine, and then he completely loses it, pointing and blaming at everyone, now certain that his co-workers are conspiring against him, and they're trying to get him involved in some form of accident as some form of retribution. He then flips through his wallet, determined to find the photo of Ivan and Reynolds as proof, but he finds nothing. And now everyone is sure Trevor is absolutely cuckoo and he's fired. And this is when Trevor starts to really spiral. He goes home to look for the photograph, and his power has gone out as he's forgotten to pay the electricity bills. He flips through all his stuff and can't find the photo. He then goes to look for Ivan at the bar they were previously at, and he can't find him, so he goes to see Stevie. She's bruised, she's been beat up by her previous client. They share a nice moment, but then he goes home and he finds some dark liquid trickling out of his freezer. And it looks a lot like blood. But for some reason, Trevor doesn't really investigate this much further and doesn't opt to look in the fridge. And then Trevor convinces himself that the hangman post-it note was actually spelling Miller, as in the guy that lost his hand. So Trevor goes to confront Miller, now convinced that Miller is the one that's trying to screw with him, and that he's the one that turned on the machine somehow, and he just wanted revenge. Miller is confused and honestly annoyed by these accusations. I mean, I would be. Miller was trying to be super cool about it. He didn't seem to hold anything against Trevor. He accepted his apology, and now he's the one that has to live without an arm, and he just doesn't want to deal with Trevor's bullshit. So he kicks Trevor off his property, and as Trevor leaves, he spots Ivan driving away in his car, and he tries to chase him down. As he drives behind Ivan, he notices another person in Ivan's car. Trevor manages to memorize the license plate of the car, but he runs out of fuel and is forced to stop. And the number plate of Ivan's car is actually the same number plate as Trevor's car, but in reverse. Anyway, Trevor goes to the DMV and tries to get an employee to run the plate and provide the details of the owner. But the employee tells him that he can't just simply disclose personal information to anyone unless a crime has been committed. So Trevor decides it's a good idea to throw himself in front of a car in order to accuse Ivan of committing a hit and run so that he can run the plates. Are you serious? So yeah, at this point, it's confirmed that Trevor is 100% nuts. Anyways, after he gets hit, he goes to the police station and files a report for a hit and run and submits the number plate. After a while, an officer comes out and informs him that the car plate he reported actually belongs to him, to Trevor, and the reported vehicle was apparently totally wrecked 1 year ago. The officer then tells Trevor that it is a felony to file a false police report, and Trevor decides to make a run for it, and he flees through the sewer system underneath the subway station. While in the sewers, he reaches another fork in the road. The left side is pitch black and the right side has light, but he notices some movement and someone walking towards him on the right side, so he chooses to go left, again alluding to the previous choice of going down the highway to hell. He then goes to find Stevie, and she tends to his injuries, and they seem to be set on running away together, and they seem quite happy actually. But that doesn't last very long, as Trevor finds the photo of Ivan and Reynolds framed in Stevie's home, and he convinces himself that she is in on the conspiracy. Stevie, like everyone else hearing Trevor's rant, is confused and says that the picture is actually of Reynolds and Trevor, but he refuses to look at it and continues to lose his shit until Stevie throws him out. Trevor then goes to find Maria at the airport diner, the last person he can turn to. But guess what? She's not there. And an unfamiliar waitress says that no Maria works at the diner and claims that she's been serving Trevor every single day for a year. And he just comes in, orders a coffee and stares at it and doesn't speak. Trevor then goes on another psycho rant, now convinced everyone is in on the same conspiracy with Ivan. Trevor then goes home and sees Ivan take Nicholas into his apartment. He quickly chases Ivan and confronts him, with Ivan revealing that Nicholas is now dead. They get into a scuffle and Trevor kills Ivan. Trevor then goes to look for Nicholas's body in the bath, but he's not there. He then looks in the fridge that's been leaking blood and is revealed that it just contains fish parts, flashing back to reveal that it was in fact Trevor with Reynolds in the photo with the fish. We then go back to the opening scene of the movie where Trevor is trying to dispose of a body, rolling it down towards the water, but as the carpet unravels, there's no body inside, and the person approaching from behind with the light is revealed to be Ivan. Trevor, now realizing that Ivan was just a hallucination and a manifestation of his own guilt, and he won't be getting rid of him that easily. It is then revealed that 1 year ago, Trevor ran over and killed a boy identical to Nicholas after taking his eyes off the road to use the car's cigarette lighter, which was witnessed by the boy's mother, identical to Maria, who ran towards the boy after he was hit. And in that moment, afraid of the repercussions, Trevor decided just to drive away. But it was this cowardly act that caused his insomnia, his emaciation, and his repressed memories. Trevor then fills out the missing letters in the hangman post-it note, which now spell killer, finally admitting who he truly is. We then see some items in Trevor's apartment. There's a clown thing and a bowl, and he states that they were his mother's. And these items had actually previously appeared in Maria's apartment, now confirming that all his experiences with Maria and Nicholas were all in his mind. The film ends with Trevor turning himself in to the police and confessing to the hit and run case. And as he drives towards the police station, he passes a sign, another fork in the road. To the left is the airport and to the right is downtown. Now Trevor is finally able to go right towards the road to salvation. He is escorted to a cell where he states he wishes to sleep, and he finally does so for the first time in a year, finally feeling a sense of closure. There's been speculation that at the end of the film he's actually dead and all of it is just, you know, his imagination or something like that. But I do feel like the film ended in a pretty clear way, and I don't think much was really left up for interpretation, and I don't think there's much really to speculate here. So to me, this movie is really all about Bale's performance, because this movie is just a complete dissection of this character of Trevor Reznik. And obviously, Bale completely committed himself, he dedicated himself, he lost almost 30 kilograms to play the role, and his figure was just insane, it was disturbing. Bale did previously joke that to get to that physical state, all he did was smoke cigarettes and drink whiskey, but it was later reported that his diet consisted of 1 black coffee, 1 apple, and 1 tin of tuna a day. But like I said before, his physical appearance was pretty hard to look at. It was really disturbing, just knowing what he normally looks like, and then seeing him in the film, it's like he tortured himself. It's like he forced himself to really push himself to the brink of existence. There's even a line in the film that if he was any thinner, he wouldn't exist, and it felt so true. And it was pretty difficult to look at, and honestly, it took me out of the film at times because I was just legitimately concerned for the guy. I found the movie a really interesting exploration of guilt and the extent that guilt can affect the mind. The most obvious impact is through his insomnia and his inability to sleep, but another way the film depicts Trevor's guilt is through his OCD and his compulsive cleaning behaviors, constantly needing to wash his hands with bleach. He's constantly cleaning the tiles in his bathroom. I mean, I feel like these are pretty obvious symbols for Trevor wanting to clean his hands and wash the blood off his hands. Overall, I felt the film left some really nice breadcrumbs along the way that sort of alluded to what the ending was going to be. Like the things he sees in the ride that he went on with Nicholas, those are ultimately the things that actually happened because he was in fact involved in the hit and run. There was a mother weeping at a grave for her son, and he ultimately is the man that's guilty that wants to hang himself. And the movie really tied everything together really nicely, and I felt like there weren't really any loose ends. It felt like a really well thought out movie, and while it didn't go crazy with plot or crazy with twists, it was nice and contained, focused on a single character, and explored his psychology and his spiral into madness really in depth. Thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to give me a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Cloudy TV, for more content from me. Let me know what you guys thought of The Machinist in the comment section down below, and let me know what other movies you want me to make an explainer video for. As always, thank you guys again, and I'll catch you all next time.